Hello and welcome back to the Save the Farm series. We're going to run a couple little errands here today. That doesn't sound like a very exciting way to put what we're doing. Sorry about that. What I mean to say is we're going to sell some of our milk to get a little bit of extra cash because we are going to... I didn't realize that the cornfield is right there. I don't remember if I have a corn header. I don't think I own one. Anyways, we're going to sell this milk, and then we're going to bring the tractor back down and pick up a manure spreader. I'm hoping we'll get enough for this milk that we can actually buy the manure spreader without going further into debt, since of course the goal is to get out of debt, not go further into it. But the manure spreader will help to increase our yield from our bean field. So, and the manure we're getting for free. So if we own the manure spreader, we've already got a front loader on our tractor. So if we own the manure spreader, it just seems like a smart purchase. In fact, I'm honestly kind of surprised I don't already have one. When I was playing before, I had one that was that I couldn't get to load. I don't think it was the modder's fault. I think it was what we'll call operator's fault. So, now, the question is, should I just leave this tanker over at the store and take and get our manure spreader now, or should I run this back to the farm? I should probably run this back to the farm. Let's not be lazy. Let's just do it right. Although I should stay on my side of the road. One of the things I think is interesting about this new Woodshire map is that, when I first heard the name New Woodshire, I was like, okay, that's definitely a UK map. But if you look around, the speed limit signs, it even has, look at that sign over there, Maple Field and Goldcrest Valley. Those are old farm sim maps for all you OGs out there. So, kind of a neat idea. There's a part of me that thinks I should see if there's a contract to harvest that field, because we would get not only the money for the contract, but we would get the overage, the grain overage that we could sell, and it's right here beside our farm. Looks like a bean field. If the yield's not too bad, it'd be pretty quick to do. So, I don't know. I should also stop and get fuel for this tractor. It's pretty low. The thing about playing this, one of the things about playing this game is there's not like one right way to do things. So sometimes I find myself, this thing really guzzles the gas, by the way. But sometimes I find myself thinking, oh, I need to do this, I have to do that. But really, you can solve your problems in a number of different ways. So we'll get gas, and we'll go get a manure spreader. Start filling. What do you think? 50 bucks? 100 bucks? 120. 109. Oh, it was close. 50 was way off. So, we'll head on over there. See if we can talk to a man about buying a manure spreader. Now, I don't know how many of you all have played this map. I like this map a lot. I started a farm on another save using Seasons, where I started just up the road. Whoop. Rip. Sorry. Operator error. again. Okay, let's leave the tractor here, and let's look at manure spreaders. Should be right here. So we've got this little farm tech, which probably makes the most sense. That is so much money. All right, so this was the one that I tried before that didn't quite work for me. But that's, the price that would be ideal. I'd love to be able to do that. But when I loaded it up, I couldn't get the manure to go into it. The bucket would just linger over top of it. So sorry about that. I think then per day. Oh man. I think I just have to lease it. Yeah. I always take the dirt road here. I'm sure the owner of this field loves that I always take the dirt road here. Out we go. Oops. Out we go. So I've actually never farmed the horse farm, and I believe it's the sheep farm over there. I've only ever had the farm that we're currently doing. I think that'd be a fun other play if I decided ever to do another play on this game, on this map rather. Try out the horse and sheep farm. I thought I had an idea of doing this map again. I don't know how many times can you play one map, but I had an idea to play this one again and do kind of like a start from scratch and go over to that farm. Because sheep are really good for a start from scratch. Let's see, sheep are good because all you need is basically like a mower and a tractor mower, loading wagon, and water. Okay, so this should be close enough here. We'll use the loader. Hopefully be able to get enough manure to cover our bean field. The other field that we got the hay off of, I don't know if I want to do another cut of hay or if I want to plow that. I don't think there's really like a right answer. I think either option would be good. Okay, let's get this up high enough and then... Alright. That part's working at least. Cut the wheels the wrong way. Very good. I washed this tractor after the last episode. I used it to plant the beans because the 806 was having trouble with the weight distribution, and boy was this thing ugly. Rough. It looks like we'll be able to fit all the manure that's in here into... I haven't worked with manure a lot, so I don't know if this will cover the field. I'm hoping that this load will cover the field. Anyways, what I was saying about that other field is I'm contemplating perhaps plowing it under and make it so that I have 2 cereal crops across the street, and then a grass field behind the house. That's probably what I'll do. like the sound effects on this map too. I mean, I guess they're on all the maps, but birds and the dog barking. It's kind of has a nice, genuine rural feel to it. I feel like you're out at the farm. I know a lot of people who are into this game either are farmers or spent some time working a farm, so they kind of miss that simple pastoral life a little bit. Where the job for the morning is load this manure and spread it on the field, or I guess this afternoon, talking about the game. You know, a day where you get up, run a machine in a field planting soybeans, and you go sell some milk, get a manure spreader, fill it up, spread the manure, you know, just simple. I'm not saying that's an easy job in real life, but I'm saying like it's just a neat game because in other games you'll do, you know, min-maxing or whatever, where you're just doing the same stuff over and over. Like I don't mind FPS. I like first-person shooter games. I kind of grew up playing those. But at the end of the day, it's like, how many hours in a row can you do the same 5-on-5 or whatever your game is? You know, I play, for example, one that I like to play is Battlefield 5. You know, it's a World War II game. Why is it? There we go. And it's, you know, plenty intense, and you get to use lots of cool weapons and cool experiences. But after a while, it just gets to where you're not accomplishing anything, and I don't know, it doesn't have that rewarding cycle. Like, you know, this whole series of getting the farm out of debt, like, which, by the way, we probably could make a payment towards that since we have that money from the milk. But I think I'll keep it just because we would lose some of it overnight from the leasing fees. That's going to be the bummer about taking out a lease on this. But I just couldn't justify going $27,000 into debt, or even 20 into debt beyond the 7 we had in the bank. It's just to save a little bit of money on fertilizer, you know, to improve our yield by a little bit. I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. I actually wonder if we'll get our money's worth out of doing this. I think we will. I think the yield will improve enough to justify the expense. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there, guys and gals. I'll tell you what, if you're hanging with me here, I appreciate you being here, being patient while I do this job. You know, I made the comment about guys and gals, but if you feel like telling me who you are, where you're from, anything like that, maybe where you're farming on your game, let me know what kind of equipment you like, and anything like that. I'd love to get to know my viewers, especially on a series like this where people have been so loyal. You know, I launched the first episode and had no idea if people were going to like it, and it was one of the most popular videos on my channel so far, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'd love to know who you are and what kind of... Oh, that's it. It did fill it. Yeah, I'd love to know who you are and what kind of... how you're feeling about the game, how you're feeling about this playthrough, anything like that. I do think I'm going to switch back to this view. We do have a weed problem, you may have noticed, but we're not going to worry about that right at this time. Okay, I think all we need to do is hit B, and it'll get started. Aha. What I meant to say is we need to open the back so that we can spread the good smelling stuff. Alright, so this is definitely not going to fill the field, cover the field, but we'll get as much of it as we can to improve our bean harvest yield. We'll get to the end here and turn around. Sorry, neighbors, cotton field. Well, that'd be expensive, wouldn't it? Cotton field like that. Okay, here we go. I bet if we head back up and get those last bucketfuls, we'll be close. But I mean, this is a quarter of the manure, a third of the manure gone by the end of this. It's all good though, my dudes and dudettes. This is kind of a neat process. I like that they made it so that the textures are different types of fertilizer. You know, much more realistic that way. People knock this game for various things, but I think it, in terms of what it's trying to do, I think it's fantastic. To, you know, teach people the basics of how a farm operates. Like, if you knew nothing about farming and you got this game, it's a little bit cheesy. But if you know, started doing some research and you got some mods and you brought a little bit of added realism to it, you can have, I'm not saying it's the same as real farming. You're not out there freezing in the wintertime, taking care of your animals and getting up at dark 30, working for 14 hours with or more like 20 hours with your back hurting and all that. I'm not saying it's that. What I am saying is it can help people who know nothing about farming learn the basics of planting, cultivating, fertilizing, etc. in a way that sitting in a classroom isn't going to do, in a way that watching YouTube video of a farmer isn't going to do. You know, having to think through the process. Okay, what do I do next? Where do I go next? That's what the game does, and it puts you in charge of your farm. You know, you make the decisions, and if you make smart decisions, your farm will prosper. If you make stupid decisions, it won't. You know, like, I'm not sure if I made a smart decision leasing this, but I said this one. I don't know if I made a smart decision leasing this manure spreader, but the manure comes free, essentially. I mean, you only get manure if you are using straw, but we've got plenty of straw. And after the soybean field, maybe we'll do like wheat or oats or something that'll get us even more straw, and we'll do some square bales of straw. I'm not sure if you can throw square bales of straw straight in the cow pen, or if you still have to use the shredder. So I may have to test that. What? There we go. What do you think? 3 more buckets? 4 more? Getting close, I'll tell you that much. Might even just be 2. Well, I'll tell you, I didn't have this tractor when I first started this map. What did I have? Well, when I first started it, fun story, I had a New Holland T6, and I never had an intention of like playing this series out like I'm doing. I had a New Holland T6. I had some European international tractor that was like 44 series or the 33 series, something like that. I had a 1455 XL, which is a European only tractor that was my front loading tractor. But then I found this, which I had a toy one of these growing up. And so I was like, as soon as I found that, I was like, okay, done deal. Definitely playing with the, what the heck, dude? I don't know why that little bit won't go in the bucket, but whatever. There we go. Alright, this is it. Last bucket. We'll go finish the field, and we'll be good to go. But I like this more realistic, simple play style anyways, and then to be able to add in a tractor that I'm a little bit more familiar with myself was very cool. I should have closed the back while I was refilling it. What a foolish farmer I am. Okay, now I don't know if it makes sense to do something with this patch of trees. Probably not. And I'm not going to waste this here. I'm going to come up to here. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful. This should be enough. We should have enough to finish the job. And then how many days will it take our cows to make that much manure again? And is it worth keeping the spreader, or should I get rid of it? These are the questions that we have to ask. So if this increases my yield by, for it to be worth it, for it to be worth 1,200 bucks, it needs to increase my yield by about 1,000 soybeans. Maybe 1,200 soybeans. Will it increase my yield by that much? I would say probably yes. And you also have to consider how much it would have been for this much solid fertilizer. Plus a solid fertilizer spreader, because those aren't free either. Look at this. Look how close it's going to be. Huh. 8% left. Less than a bucket load left, actually. Huh. Alrighty. Well, let's see if we could find... I guess there's a little bit of room there, but I don't want to monkey around and try to back it into that. Let's just put it over in the equipment shed beside the mower over in this one. Sorry if you hear the clicking. I think I may have said this in a previous episode, but I don't use a wheel. I don't have a wheel. I don't use a wheel. I just use the keyboard. So Alrighty. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. I will catch you in the next episode of Save the Farm. We didn't pay down any of our debt, but we got this new spreader and we improved the yield on our soybeans. So we'll catch you in the next one.